Well, hi, everybody. I'm Tim White. I'm the Chancellor of the California State University, and I'm on a tour during my first year as Chancellor of each of the 23 campuses of the California State University. We're about a 1,000-mile-long campus, the way I see life these days, from the just north of the Mexican border to just south of the Oregon border. And my purpose in traveling from campus to campus over the time I've been in office, and will do more over the balance of the spring and then again in the fall, is to get a sense of what's working well and what isn't, how the individual campuses differ from each other, but also have the commonality of a good learning environment and a good applied research environment. What happens at Humboldt State is relevant to and related to what happens at Dominguez Hills, but it's different because of the location of the campus and the kind of majors that they have there versus the majors and the location of the campus here. I never want to lose track of the job I have is helping guide policy with the trustees and make economic decisions, but those economic decisions about our campuses are really decisions about hope and opportunity and promise and future for the students and for the faculty and staff and for the communities that our 23 campuses serve. So that's why I'm out learning a lot about each campus. I'm also having fun. Today I had a chance to not do very well in learning how to do some dancing with our students here. I should know better at my age, but I don't. I think I have a head of a college student and a body of a non-college student. Let's just leave it that way, a more experienced body. But I'm happy to talk about anything I've observed here at California State University, Dominguez Hills, or anything else that's going on in public higher education today.
With what is it now, 5-6 years of budget cuts, what's your message to the students, the faculty, the parents about the financial situation at Cal State?
Well, first of all, we matter. That degree from any one of the campuses of the California State University opens doors for the individual and their families and their communities in ways that are really quite stunning. Secondly, that there's both a private good. The individual student and family will do better if they have a college degree versus just a high school degree. But of equal and perhaps more enduring importance to the public is there's a public good of an educated workforce. And I don't think we've done as good a job of sort of talking about why does it matter to society to have in every community, left to right, top to bottom in California, people who have had the opportunity to be exposed to higher education. And the answer is quite simple. It raises cultural competence. It raises expectations of park districts and school boards and oversight of law enforcement. It creates people with knowledge of the problem-solving skills, communication skills to be on those boards, to bring good jobs to the community, to raise the standard of living for everybody. Folks with a college education are less likely to use social services, less likely to use law and the judicial system. In any economy, a good economy or a not-so-good economy or a flat-out lousy economy, those with degrees tend to have a lower rate of unemployment, so they have stability in their families, more so than others. So there's this public good element as well as the private good, and I think that's my message to Californians is the public should then invest a bit as our students and their families are investing a bit in order to get these degrees.
Is there light at the end of the tunnel?
I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. I think the passage of Proposition 30 by the voters of California did two things. One is, of course, raised over the course of a handful of years some temporary revenues that helped stop the hemorrhaging for public education and allowed us to start investing in things that matter, not for yesterday, but things that matter for the future. And the second thing that I take a lot of comfort in knowing is that voters in California, even though their personal economy hasn't yet changed, even though they may themselves be unemployed or have lost their home during the Great Recession, have said enough is enough of disinvestment. I'm willing to pay more taxes. It may not help me personally, but it does help society. And so I think there's two powerful messages that came out of Prop 30. The resources were helpful and instrumental in turning the direction, but the voice of the public was even more important to say, Cal State University matters, the University of California matters, the community colleges matter, K through 12 matters. Can we, be better and use technology differently and, this, that, and the other thing? You bet. And faculty and staff are doing that every day. We're trying to do better business practices. We've never really done shared purchasing in the Cal State University. And so there's all these individual contracts for things like computers and laptops and pillows and sheets for the residence halls. What if we all came together and purchased things across all 23 systems for those high volume things we buy? We will be able to drive the price per pillowcase down. And we're actually even talking to the University of California on things that we buy together to, again, have more people coming together and shared purchasing to lower the cost. In other words, there are things we can do on the business side of higher education, and we can do those better, more effectively, and more efficiently, and take the resources that are saved there and redirect them to the frontline enterprise, which is the learning environment and the applied research environment and creative activity for the CSU. Yes.
So as you've toured the campus today, what would you say is something that has struck you or impressed you most?
I must say, I sat down with students this morning for an hour, and we had one of the more powerful conversations about what it means to be a student in general, what the world looks like to them when they finish their degree work at Dominguez Hills, how they feel they've been supported here and challenged, what the campus culture feels like to them. And I think the frankness of the conversation was very impressive. We were in a safe in the sense that they knew what they were sharing me wasn't going to go anywhere. But I also, I wanted to see the Chamber of Commerce issues as well as the things I think we can do better at, and they really did open up. I had likewise very honest conversations with a group of faculty members and as well as staff members, but there was something special about the students in the sense that they kind of looked at each other and said, "We're all in." And I was very both impressed with the thoughtfulness and the insights that they shared with me, but also proud of them as young folk who have the ability to meet somebody new who has an interesting job and communicate in a way that I've left there knowing a lot more about this wonderful campus than I did before. And so that surprised, not in the sense that it wasn't unexpected, but surprised in the sense that it makes me proud that we're actually creating an environment for students like that to blossom and prosper. So we are doing our job.
So what would you say you'd want the public to know about our campus now that you've seen it?
There's a lot of vibrancy, intellectual vibrancy here. I was in an anthropology class this afternoon and chatted with the students and the faculty member, and these people are anthropology majors going with a biology minor or a business minor or a science minor. They're interested in social work. They're interested in being curators for natural history museums. They're interested in going into therapy, linguistics. Some are interested and they don't know what yet. And but the idea that they have been majors in anthropology and are now at that point towards their junior, senior year of understanding what are the opportunities in graduate studies, or what are the opportunities if I stop now and enter the workforce, or what are the opportunities if I go to Europe for graduate studies and then get a master's or a PhD. I mean, it felt like I was walking into a bowl of Jell-O that was just starting to solidify, that it had shape and form and purpose, and yet still can be moved around and jiggled a little bit. And I felt, what a I mean, it's both a vulnerable point in higher education, but also a beautiful point. And I think that's sort of the snapshot I'm taking from here is in that one class, but I've seen derivatives of that everywhere I've been today, both academically and socially for our students and with the faculty and the staff. I also met some staff workers. One was a custodian in the building, and one was working outside. And I interrupted their work, and they were a little bit taken back to see somebody wearing a tie, and they, I'm sure, don't know me from Adam. But I thank them for what they have done to this campus. It's been a hard time, But when you walk in these buildings, they're spotless. You don't see an ounce of trash. You don't see a scuff on the walls or on the floor.